why this is a problem for America in Iran, okay? So right now America is facing three major issues with this war in Iran. The first major issue is the lack of political will, meaning that this war is very unpopular in America. Only 40% of the population currently support this war, and as things go on and on, support will probably decrease, okay? You need political will because you need Americans to pay for this war. Trump has asked for $200 billion to fund this war, and also it's possible that Trump will call the national draft, which I believe will happen. Okay, so if Americans don't want to support this war, it's very hard to get them to pay for this war and to go fight this war. Second problem is lack of manufacturing capacity. So in other words, what this means is that if you lose planes, if you use too many bombs, you cannot replenish it because you don't have the factories to produce these planes and bombs quickly enough. Okay? And so if this war drags on too long, then America will just run out of bombs. Now, and the third problem for America is unwillingness to sustain casualties. Okay? And what this means is that the American military is afraid of reporting deaths, casualties, which is weird because in a war, soldiers die. That's just the reality of war. But the Pentagon is afraid of reporting too many deaths because of the fair political backlash. Okay? So these are three major problems for the American military in Iran. These are the three major constraints. All right? So the Americans can't actually resolve these issues, and America will probably lose this war, in which case this gives an opportunity for Israel to prove to the world that it should be the empire, okay? And it proves it can be the empire by showing that it does have the political will, it doesn't have the manufacturing capacity, but that's Mossad, okay? And it is much more strategic. The last thing is that it is resilient, meaning that it is willing to accept casualties, okay? So basically, the idea here is the global elite, they need an empire to provide the muscle, but the empire must prove that it can serve the needs of the global elite, okay? And so an empire must prove three things. First of all, it must prove unity. It must prove it has the resources and the capacity, basically the capacity, okay? And it must prove determination. All right? So to understand this idea, let's just do a thought experiment. Right? Let's just say that we're venture capitalists. We have billions of dollars, we have trillions of dollars, and we want to invest in a company. Okay? So we're approached by two companies. Company A, Company B. Okay? So Company A comes to us and says that, look, I have 100 companies, and they're all profitable. Okay? I don't have a business plan, but I have lots and lots of resources, and I have a lot of experience and a lot of skill. And so if I were to invest in another company, I'm sure it'll make a lot of money. Okay? All right? So skills and experience. That is Company A. Company B is these young guys, and they failed, okay? But they're like, you know what? We're gonna put our heart and soul into this enterprise. We're going to work 16 hours a day, every day for as long as it takes. And we won't stop, okay? Even if this company is successful, we're gonna keep on going because it's our passion. And if this company fails, then we're bankrupt. We might kill ourselves, All right? So if you are the venture capitalist, do you put your money in A or do you put your money in B? Now, most people would put their money in A because they think it is low risk. But if you're a smart venture capitalist, you put your money in B because it's high reward. Okay? So company A already has 100 companies that are successful. People in the company don't really care if this new enterprise is successful or not. Who cares, right? I can afford to lose. In which case, it's more likely the company A steals your money than actually invests it properly. Whereas company B is going to be the opposite, where this is their last chance. If they take your money, they're going to make sure that they grow it. Because if they don't grow it, then they themselves die. Okay? So you need these things. You need unity, capacity, and determination. Do you understand? And so what issue is doing really, especially auditioning to the world, we are ready to replace America. We are ready to be the new empire. Okay? All right.